Eric Bakker, the Naturopath. Thanks for coming back. I get a lot of questions about CanXida, as you can imagine. You know, I get dosage questions. I get questions asked about the ingredients, why the formulas are created the way they are, all these sorts of questions. A common question I get, particularly regarding CanXida Remove, is what's so special about this product? Surely we can buy these kind of formulas anywhere, you know, on iHerb or on Amazon, or we can go to a health food store and just buy a product like this. Well, one of the key reasons why CanXida Remove works so well is the standardized ingredients in it. That's one of the special things about it. So let's talk about standardization of herbal medicines compared to non-standardization. All right? So if we have a look in the old days, many people used to prescribe herbs. I mean, doctors prescribed herbs. I've got a herbal book here I should show you. I've got hundreds of books, as you can imagine, on this sort of topic, but a really good one is this one. Now, it's not a Catholic book, but it is written by priest and priest. Okay, two priests wrote this book, so it's a really good book. Bishops didn't write it, priests wrote it. Sorry for being sarcastic, but this is an excellent book, and it's quite an old book, I believe. There's many versions of this book. Oh, how old is it? It's actually not that old at all. It's only from the 80s. But there are many books like this. This is a very good book on how to basically treat patients with various herbal medicines and how they work medically. Like, it even tells you, you know, the different parts of the nervous system the herbs work on, and, you know, on the gut, and etc. So these books basically were written for doctors, medical people getting into herbal medicines. And the medicines they used were generally non-standardized, which means they were just plain plants. Extraction processes took place either with alcohol, which would make it a tincture. You know, it could also be made a decoction out of it, so the herb will be boiled, for example. You know, there are all sorts of ways. Teas or tisanes could be made from the herb, but tinctures was quite normal. So you would get the herb, you would dry it out, and then you know all the aerial parts, the leaves and stuff like that, and the flowers or whatever, and then that would generally, an alcoholic extraction would take place, anything from 5 up to about 40% of, you know, just plain, well, basically beverage ethanol was used, and water to extract stuff out of these plants. That's non-standardized. Today, still many herbal medicines are made like that. And if we now have a look at the standardized herbs that are available today, and particularly the Swiss or German companies have been real pioneers in this field now, I'd say since the 70s and 80s, but especially today, there are many good herbal medicines made now that are exceptional compared to the old days. In the old days, you know, we could give up to 10 grams of a herb, which now we could only require 3 or 4 grams, if that, to give to a person to get the same therapeutic effect, because we know how to extract now a lot more, because we understand things like you know, thin layer liquid chromatography, all these different scientific methods that we can adopt to ensure that we extract plants that are viable, that have got very good levels of therapeutic and active ingredients. Right? So standardization is looking at the fingerprint of a plant, so actually looking at all of the chemicals that a plant is made up of, and then also understanding the ingredients that act on the human being, that are known to act, that are scientifically, through studies, being documented to act. Like, for example, we know in garlic, allicin, one of the components, is very powerful in terms of its antifungal ability, particularly when it is standardized, so brought up to a higher level than you would normally find in garlic. So if we want to get, for example, a 2% allicin into your diet, we'd have to ensure you would eat literally, you know, pounds and pounds of garlic a day, which you're not going to be able to do without, you know, probably being on your own for a long time. You know what I mean? You know, tummy pains, digestive problems, and you'll keep vampires away, but you'll keep a lot of other people away too. And it's not good for you to eat like that. So in CanXida Remove, for example, we've got 2% standardized allicin extract in there. There are 3 herbal medicines I've got in there that are at a 4-to-1 ratio, so 4 times as much of the herb to 1, you know, amount of the solution that we use to extract. For example, cloves 4-to-1, neem extract is 4-to-1, pau d'arco, a fantastic antifungal herb, is 4-to-1, so it's probably 4 times more powerful than it will be in a non-standardized form. And this is why the product works. The herbs that I really wanted to give a punch in terms of their microbial effect, I brought up to a higher level. So, and that's the story of standardized versus non-standardized. We could have used plain clove in there. We could have used plain neem. We could have put just normal garlic extract in there. Most companies will do that. You're not going to get the same effect, right? And that's non-standardized. So standardized is the way of the future. It's a scientific way, combining, the wisdom and ancient knowledge with the scientific knowledge we have today of making good quality herbal medicines. And that's part of the reason why CanXida Remove works so well. Thanks for tuning in.